Bill and Dave are on the lam, not a scam. Grab your cam, could be in a traffic jam or maybe in Siam. Bill and Dave are hiding out, what's their route? Won't give out, searching Brussels for a sprout. They rarely mill a boat. Bill and Dave are on the lam, on a tram in Rotterdam. Don't you forward them your spam, they're clearly on the lam.
Hey, it's On the Lam. This is an unusual episode of On the Lam, listener. This is Bill and
Daver.
And Daver, you have a cold. I know it's not Daver. You guys are ahead of us. I'm sure
everybody's disappointed on the podcast now.
Yes, I don't think they're disappointed. This is Wendy.
Oh, they are.
It's an unusual Bill and Wendy podcast. I don't know. You may hear some voices in the background. That is Marge and Daver. They are actually working on a musical project, which we can go into detail at a later date. But while they are rehearsing, Daver's going to be working with guitar and Marge is going to be working on the piano. Wendy and I decided to knock out a little podcast here in this undisclosed office here. It's sort of a all-purpose room, really. And, you know, we hardly ever get a chance to talk one-on-one, Wendy. So this is our opportunity here to, you know, if we have any, you know, questions we have for each other, we can ask them.
And on that note...
Yes, you have a question.
You know, it's not a question. It's an observation, or actually a remembrance. But I'm just thinking about it, and I've actually known you longer than I've known Daver.
That's true.
Think about it.
That's true. We used to work together in that undisclosed place that we don't like to talk about.
The place which shall not be named.
Exactly. It will not on this podcast. And before we went to the different place that is related to that other place.
It still shall not be named.
No, neither of those places. And then that's when Daver entered the picture, and you met him.
Yes.
And the rest is history. But that's true. My goodness, I would guess.
That's weird to think. I mean, I never thought about it until you said we don't often get a chance to talk one-on-one, and there you go.
That is. I never thought about that before ever, but it's true. You and I have known each other longer than you and Daver have known each other. Or I have known Daver. I've known
Marge.
That's true. That's true. I'm not sure you met Marge during the time you and I first knew each other. You may not have met Marge till we were at that other place.
If I did, it would just be in passing. Oh, you know, this is my wife, and hi, how you doing? Oh, nice to meet you. You know, I mean,
that's quite
certainly
possible.
Not like a conversation or anything.
Right.
Except that one fight we had when she and I were duking out. Oh wait, no, that was no. I'm imagining.
That was a hallucination. It's from that ambient cigarette smoke that caused you to hallucinate. But now let's try to nail down a year on that. What year did you start working at that place?
Oh, you're going to get me in trouble, Bill. You're going
to
disclose all of my secrets.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't mean to do
that.
If you don't want to disclose that, I don't understand the reason that would be. But
being that I'm 23 now.
You're just a babe.
I was not of legal working age. Could not have possibly been, because that was I started October of 2000.
Ah, okay. That's when that was, October of 2000.
Yeah, so I would have met you within, say, a month or so, whenever our shifts first crisscrossed.
Yeah, that's right. That would mean, okay, geez, if this is 2013... We've known each other for over 12 years.
Yeah.
Isn't that
crazy?
Possible?
But here's the other...
I feel like I just met you.
Wasn't me. But here is a funny thing about that.
Okay.
Now, you may remember from that first place, which
yes.
shall not be named, that we did sometimes actually have live entertainment there.
I do remember that.
And I know you were more of a day shift guy, but
right.
Sometimes when we did, it'd be like a Saturday night or a Sunday night.
Yeah.
And we had a community relations person who would set that up. And as you recall, you would be assigned for an hour or longer at the cash registers sometimes. So there was a particular night, and I was at the cash registers, which was not too far away from where live entertainment would play, which I hear now, by the way. But there, and we'd hear it, and it was like, okay, live people, whatever. And there's one night I was working the cash register. I was kind of listening, and there was a little crowd gathered over there. And I thought to myself, finally, we got somebody who doesn't suck. And I know that's probably harsh words, but I even said that to someone, like, we finally got somebody good. Who is this? And the community relations lady, she says, oh, well, that's Daver.
Ah!
But I never did meet him.
You just heard the name invoked.
And I thought, wow, we really have somebody who's good here.
Wow.
So I actually was a Daver fan before I met him.
This is pre-other place.
Yeah, did not meet him until, I don't know the date that he played at the first place, but, I mean, it would have been at least a year later. Mm-hmm. And I said, hey! And I didn't put the name together, and they said, oh, we got this other coworker coming. I said, wait a minute, you're the guy who didn't suck.
The first place. That's very much like Harry Potter, the boy who didn't die.
The guy
this is Daver, the guy who didn't suck.
Yeah, but yeah, so I always tell him, if he said, if I compliment his work, he said, oh, you're biased. No, I know, because I didn't know who you were. And I didn't even see him because there was a little crowd there, and I was just far enough away.
Was he just by himself, just doing a solo?
Right, doing his own creation, his own song.
Wow.
Isn't that funny?
That is funny. I'd never heard that story, and I never knew until this moment that he ever had any association with that other place.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. That is very cool.
So it all comes together.
It does.
It's only like 3 degrees of separation. 2.5 maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. And so what was the year was it 2003 that you guys got together? 2004, 2003?
2003.
That's what I thought.
Coming up in 10 years, June 1st.
That's right, because you're going to Hawaii.
That's June 1st, baby. So if you hear one of these old episodes, that's June 1st.
2013. And to celebrate your 10 years, you're going to visit the 50th state of the...
Right. Don't try to work out the math at home. It's just a good excuse to go to Hawaii.
Oh, I think any excuse to go to Hawaii is a good excuse. Now, I asked Daver about this in a podcast not so long ago where it was just he and I. So I'll ask you.
Yeah, I think I need to correct something.
Okay. Go ahead and correct.
Go ahead and ask what we were going to say.
Well, it might lead you too far away from your correction, so why don't you correct something, and then I'll ask the question.
Didn't you ask him, maybe this is what you're going to refer to, or what, when we say we've been to 49 of 50 states, like what the conditions were, or was there one that we spent the least amount of time in, or something like that?
Yeah, I did. I asked questions similar to that.
Did not count any states that were just flown over. So either our feet were on the ground or we were driving through.
Yeah.
So maybe we didn't need to stop for gas or to go to the bathroom.
Right.
Like
yeah. We have established
on the ground.
That.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So
there were some nights that you didn't spend the night at.
Right.
But you actually touched them.
And you asked the question, I believe, like, what was the state that we spent the least amount of time in?
Right, I did ask that question.
And I think he said Texas, which
right.
I will have to respectfully disagree.
Oh, okay.
Utmost respect, because he's the guy who didn't suck. I mean, he was good. Great talent. But South Carolina, actually.
Oh.
Which is a wonderful state, and I really want to get back there and spend more time. But... when you are talking about the coastal states, if they're not a destination, then just geographically they're not on the way to anywhere else. They're the tail end of the drive, But in, I believe, October of 2006, we went to North Carolina, and we had friends in 2 different parts of the state. And, at that point, say we'd been to 20 states or something.
Uh-huh.
And I said, well, it's like, oh, let's go to South Carolina. It's right there. I mean... Heck, half the name's the same, right? So, of course,
it's
we're always...
the same place if you get rid of the modifiers.
Modifiers.
I know.
But we, and by that I mean mainly me, is guilty of generally trying to plan a little too much or, cram too much into the time and make the most of it. So it's like, well, we really can't go too far out of the way to do this. We really, I could fit it in between this activity and this activity on this day. If we want to do it just for the heck of it, we can cross South Carolina off the list. So we were traveling south from North Carolina, and I figured it out, and we could, the interstate would cross over. And I think we literally went to mile marker 1 was the exit, got off, and then took it back.
Oh, okay, so that really is literally just sticking your toe in South Carolina.
Yeah, it was 180 degrees, in the wrong direction. So, we were, I don't even know if it would have been 10 minutes. It's whatever their first exit was.
Right, and so when you've been to Georgia, then was that a whole different trip?
Yeah, we spent way too much time in Georgia because we were going to see Grandma in Florida. So
right, you have a grandma lives in Florida.
So we transversed the whole Georgia, and going down. If you've ever driven south on I-75,
we may be doing that this summer.
Okay,
well, in a month or so. Yeah.
It's a glorified commute, and it's like a 2,000-mile commute expressway. Uh-huh. It moves fast. You better get out of the way if you're not going fast, and it's just always busy, especially spring, summer. Sorry, but Atlanta is awful to drive. So if you hit it at 2 a.m, you could probably clip along decently. But we got there. It was okay going down, but we could see the northbound lane was like, oh, that's a mess, and we're spending too much time. It's not the worst, but let's definitely not come home this way. And we got another route that we could take through Alabama, but I forget. It was one of those, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. One is less interstate, but it's long or whatever. And for whatever reason, we're like, oh, there's no way we're not doing that. Well, a week with Grandma passes, and apparently erased all our memory of how awful Atlanta was to drive through. We're like, let's go ahead and let's just do this. And
it'll be fine. Yeah.
And we even thought we were being clever and doing the bypass or whatever, and the bypass should just have a sign when you get on, sucker, you're stupid.
I'll have to remember that. Maybe we can go around
really,
Atlanta.
If you can avoid it. And I remember my parents saying that when I was a kid, and you're in the back seat with but we'd go see Grandma back then, and it's like, oh, Atlanta, shake your fist at the clouds.
I just want to jump in, and as long as we're talking about Georgia, I was trying to tally up the number of states. I said on that previous podcast with Dave, or not with you, that I thought I'd only been to maybe 10, 12, 15 states. It's a little more than that. And once I started counting, you end up over your lifetime covering more states than you realize you're covering. And so I say, oh yeah, I went there. Oh yeah, I went there. And it's like, I'll see if I can do it later. But Georgia, the only time I've ever been to Georgia, I technically going to say I've been in Georgia. And this is why. But there would be a whole, if we were in high school debate, a whole debate team, really good debate team, could shut me down and say, you were never in Georgia. And
I put to you, sir.
I put to you. This is why. When Marge and I went on our Bahamas cruise in 93, I think it was 93, we flew Delta. We had a stopover. We didn't have to get off the plane in Atlanta.